Yo, hello everybody. Hope you're having a great day on this Monday morning here. PC Monk with another Bitcoin video bringing you the latest on Bitcoin and hopefully some good analysis. So let's jump into this. Last week, my analysis or like my bias was looking for a short squeeze, right? And if you just take a look at last week, um, just shortly, okay? Let's see if I can hide these and turn this one on. And if you take a look at the last week, maybe 4 hours, we'll do it. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. Just a little bit of zoom and a little bit of zoom. So you could see that last week starts from here. Monday we dropped. Tuesday we dropped. Wednesday we dropped. Again, even on Thursday we dropped a little bit and then we picked it back up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the Sunday was where the pump happened, as you guys could see right here. I feel like last week we had the same thing. Obviously, I'm going to do a weekly overview, um, last week overview rather. But I don't know if I have to, keep my potential for a short squeeze to the upside, or that's gone and like this is just gonna go lower and lower. Now, what would I say that's gone? I mean, if you think about it, right now it has more chance of a short squeeze than last week, right? Obviously, after all this dump we had, and this whole move to the downside that essentially started, we could say from last Sunday or from 2 Sundays ago, right? As here we dumped and then we consolidated here and then the dump start, the blood started, right? So it looks like, we could see finally a move to the upside. And if you take a look at it on 4 hours right now, Bitcoin, after it made a bottom over here, now let me just get this out. After it made a bottom over here, it tried a couple of times. And right now it's holding a nice trend line if you accept it or with me. As you guys can see, I didn't draw anything yet. I will. Now let's go on the weekly before I, draw anything. And what I wanted to pay attention in here is we essentially, if this is the big momentum candle, with this week that we had here, we essentially broke not into this, but even below it. You guys could see below it, and then there's this wick that came all the way into, you could say, a little bit into the lower body of this candle, this momentum candle. Nonetheless, this momentum candle comes in to help, and we probably, all the buyers in here push it up, push it up, push it up. But we push it up, and right here, look where we stopped at the higher body of this candle, which coincides with these two dojis. So these that were support are now turned, this level that was support is now a resistance. So if we just take a look at this on a weekly, we could say that, well, we performed our bearish retest. We made a new extreme rather than just a simple bearish retest. We made the new extreme, and now it's time to completely going down again. So what essentially we thought that this, oops, and I drew something. Okay, let's just go into Chicago, Michigan exchange. Yeah. So even in here, I had this possibility of a right shoulder, and the right shoulder was around the 30K. Nonetheless, the right shoulder looks like it's in here, right? And this left shoulder being in here. Now, one thing again that, if I just remove this, that I found it interesting that if I drew a trend line from this side to this side, okay, and bring this to the red one, as you guys can see, they're very close to each other, right? So essentially this, which was the beginning of this whole, consolidation, is now becoming into play right here. Will get rejected again right here. So is this rejection a real rejection? Keep in mind this is on weekly, or this red candle was a retest for higher move. We could say that we hold it on the weekly, we hold it at this candle, we retrace this whole candle, even a little bit more, but we hold it here. So again, weekly doesn't really look bullish, and I would say based on weekly alone, we could go way lower. We could see around 20K or at least 22K, 21K. Yeah. Now, enough of 5 minutes of talk of that. Now let's jump into. I want to show you guys the interesting things first. So on this beautiful chart that we have on the 1 hour rather than 1 hour to 3 hours. Now you guys could see this green line. It's still in play, guys. It's still in play. We made a double top, I'm sorry, a double bottom in here, and then from there we picked it up. Right now we are at our previous day close, which is right here. We're, consolidating over it and below it. If we could hold this, then there's a possibility of maybe another bounce to the upside. I'm not gonna say a short squeeze, even if the short squeeze happened. To be honest, I don't have that much faith in a good short squeeze, like one to around 28.7. I would say maybe we come up to this area, which is, let me just remove this. Maybe we come up to this area, which is a sell side liquidity, and it has some, possible, squeeze to do around here, 28K maybe at least. If we go higher, then yeah. But right now I'm kind of neutral. I don't really know, which side Bitcoin wants to go. I'm just waiting for the first move to be more accurate or more visible. I mean, right now everybody say, "Oh, this is the first move. This is the bull market, and we're gonna go higher." Yes, obviously this looks like a good move, but we came out of a good support here. This yellow line is a good support. So you guys can see this acted as a resistance here, acted as a support. If I remove this, acted as a support right here, again support right here, and we sliced through it, but right now it comes into play again. Right here it was resistance, and now it's a support. So these kind of lines, they tend to be, when they're a lot in play, then I tend to believe in them. So as long as we hold this green line for now, I'm okay. If we lose this, I don't think we're gonna hold here. I don't think 26 or 25.9 is anything right now. I think we're gonna see a 25.5 essentially, or even lower. But I'll just take it to 25.5. If we went lower, then take 24.4 for granted. Obviously, these two that were intersecting here are now separating from here, so it's 24.2 or 23.9. But first let's lose 25.1, the levels that I am still mentioning it a lot. All right, with that being said, guys, I don't know why I drew this, but let's just make this like that. And it looks like a good support right here, but I just drew it for no reason. Anyway, by the way, guys, I got laid off from work, or so I got laid off, so I'm trying to become a full-time trader. It's kind of hard. I'm not that profitable at all. It's been 3 years, but I'm not that profitable for be fully a full-time trader. I make some and then I lose all of it, and then I make some, but then again, it's not that much. So help me out if you guys have any idea, anything that I should do. I appreciate it. It's kind of hard, to become a full-time trader, not gonna lie, especially where I live. And we'll see what happens. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say right now, enough of this chart. I want to show you guys the interesting one, which is this one. So I was watching this, and if you guys remember, let me just remove this, and then I want to talk about this parallel upward channel. If you guys remember this, this is the rising broadening wedge that we had with us talking about it for a long time, right? Now, the rising wedge, broadening wedge found its support once here. It pushed it back like it never before, right? Like this. But right now, it's been consolidating all over it from here. And we're still holding it, but this is a lot of touches, below it and even the top of it. You guys could see here, I probably have to draw it again. I don't want to do all the Control Z to, for the zones. But anyway, as you guys could see here, first, we wicked out of it. Second, we essentially came out of it completely and we retested this. And you might say, what is this? Okay, now this is the lower area okay, or what we say is value area low. All right, this is the point of control, and this is value area high. So essentially, we could perform a short squeeze to value area high. If Bitcoin decides to, act a little bit stronger, then go higher. If not, then, we could barely even get a retest at 27.8 or 28K flat, I would say, right? But if we get this value area high, then there's hope 29.1. All right, and when we get that, I think we could see a wick around 29.7 right here. This is the next weekly high that we want, right? Nonetheless, right now, Bitcoin performed a couple of tests. We tested the value area low, as you guys can see, multiple times. And right here, it found the support. Right here, the buyers came in. We pushed the price higher. Then we came back to retest the point of control. Point of control retest successful. We pushed it higher. Now, this time when we pushed it higher, again, we regained this red trend line, upper trend line, and then one more time we pushed it down. As you guys could see, every time we push it down, we go a little bit uh, outside of this red, what do you mean? What do you call it? Red trend line. But the point is, we regain it back. So if I want to draw this right here, and we call this a buy side liquidity, right? This is a buy side liquidity. All right, I should draw it on other chart, which I use these stuff, but I want to show it here because this is so clear. So if this is what we think it is, all right, we can see right here, all right, it filled it all. Right here, it exited from it. It found support right here, and right here, we have to pay attention to this, to the wick. Okay, so here we have wicks working at the lower rectangle, but right here the lower rectangle or the support line is not in play anymore, and we are going higher. So what I think, if this is, and based on this chart, based on our beloved rising broadening wedge, if this is valid, I think we're going to go higher one more time. We could essentially come and retest the value area high, then completely come back and retest this trend line, this red trend line, okay? As you guys could see, it's, beneath this green liquidity. But this time we're going to hold it. That means we're not even going to wick below it. Or we could wick below it and hold the upper half of this rectangle. All right, hold the upper half of this rectangle and then pick it back up. And then when we pick it back up, that is when we see a huge momentum in the price and we are going flying high, But if that doesn't happen, we're probably gonna, fail here and then go lower. Now, based on this chart, if we fail, the first thing we have to do is to lose this rectangle. And when we lose this rectangle, we probably could see a retest at point of control, value area low, or even this pink line, any of these levels. Then perform another retest, and the retest would be at the bottom or the support of this rectangle, and then we get rejected in the sub, and trying to regain this rectangle, then we get rejected and then follow, come back down to 25.1 right here, right? And after that, probably go lower. So that's a very interesting scenario right here that we have on this buy side liquidity. This gives us some sign of, good bullish move, something like that. But other than that, you really cannot find anything bullish. Now, let's take a look at the liquidity. And you might ask, so what am I trying to do here? I'm trying to find where the price goes into a wick move. Like you see, and this is on daily, by the way, you could just see this on even 1 hour, maybe even clearer. You guys can see here. Right. So right here, let me just this text to the maybe bottom. So right here, we whacked a lot into it, and even right when we went up, we exit from it, we get rejected right back down, but then we hold it, then we crawled up, right? Again, right here, if you take a look at this, where did we stop? Essentially, where did we stop? We stopped right here, right? Maybe a little bit lower, but we take that as a slippage, okay? So where we stop right here, whereas like essentially the origin of this pump at well, right here, there is a volume imbalance that has to be filled. We filled it like this, right? And then we started to again consolidate to the upside. So these are kind of, signs that we're probably going to see an upside today. But don't take my word for it. Let's just take a look at the liquidity. To the upside, to 27.8, we have 195. To 26K or 26.2, we have 258. So we do have a little bit more to the downside, right? Give me a second. What I was about to say is, yes, we still have a hope to go to that, on looking at this, but we'll have to see if this works or not. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys was this liquidity. All right, we were actually looking at liquidity. So the liquidity wise, we picked up everything at the top, and right now there's a lot around here, right, to 26.5. Let's just take a look at the all liquidity to 26.5. So the cumulative liquidity, long liquidations, is around 638 million, right? And to the upside, around 28.3 is 695 million. Let's say around 27.8, 563. Is there a possibility that we go up today? We could, we could. Now, I was thinking about something about this liquidation. Whenever we watch these, right, especially this map right here, what do we think? We say, okay, so there's more liquidity here, so we're gonna go this way. So we always try to figure out which way the market's gonna move based on the liquidity. I think this is wrong. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of times that this has to be, this was correct. This was a correct, uh, move based on the liquidity. Or how do I say it? I forgot the word. Anyway, so you get what I mean. But I think we should just say, if price going up, it should stop here because of the liquidity. So instead of deciding where the price goes based on liquidity, we should try to predict where the price gonna stop based on the liquidity. And that way, at least I'm not gonna get full like last week, just waiting for that short squeeze that never come because of the liquidity. So right now, if I want to tell to you guys, so where do we gonna so where is the first stop if we're gonna go up? I would say 27 points, probably 5, right? Because of this big cluster. So we want to grab the liquidity above it. So it's gonna be 27.5. Now let's come into the chart and say 27.5. So 27.5, it would be around here. So I mean, we just went here, so I would say a little bit higher, maybe around 28K, right? Or 27.7. Let's just jump back into this. 27.7. Yeah, this makes sense. 27.8, right here where there's a gap. So the first stop could be around here. I would say 27.8. And I think that's it. Let's just take a look at Dixie. And Dixie really last week did something, right? It went up, and right now it's doing one of these again. So is it gonna go higher again because of this, or is it just gonna crash down? We'll have to take a look at that and keep our eyes peeled. At the same time, SPX was doing a bull flag, which exited from the, hold at the bottom of it. We'll see if it wants to pick it up today or not. But if this picks up, if this bull flag works out and we pick up and we come to fill this gap and even the higher one, then we're good. If not, then we're not. NQ doesn't really look good though. ES1 doesn't really look good. They have to recover or we're just gonna go lower. So you could see that VIX picked up. So we probably gonna see some volatility today in the market. We'll see what happened there. And I'll talk about Dixie. Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, stay green. Like I said, I'm trying to become a full-time trader, and I'm trying to focus on lower time frame trading, like, uh, and I'm trying to become a high frequency trader where I trade a lot. But you have to watch out because you can lose a lot there. But we'll see how it works for me. Again, thank you guys for the support you do and everything else. Stay in touch and stay safe, please. Until next time, bye bye.